pillars of Salah or the obligatory actions of Salah, the difference between fara'id and wajibat is the actions which comes under wajibat, we have an expiation for them. The things which come up under fara'id or the obligatory actions of Salah, you don't have any expiations for them. If you miss them, whether forgetfully or purposely, you have to repeat your Salah. These are the integral parts of your Salah, essential parts of your Salah. And that's why you call them as fara'id. There are 14 fara'id in your Salah. The first of all these fara'id, the first of all the fara'id in the Salah is qiyam, standing. To make your Salah while standing is fard. That's why you see some kids sometimes in the mosque will lean against the wall. If you are elder, if it's your son, somebody whom you know, say to them that this is improper, you have to stand. If you are leaning or sitting unnecessarily, then your Salah is invalid. Leaning or sitting or laying on the ground is lawful for those who have excuses. For those who do not have excuses, they should stand. We have in the Quran Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying, وَقُومُوا لِلَّهِ قَانِتِينَ, that stand when you come before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. قُومُوا لِلَّهِ, stand for Allah. قَانِتِينَ, in calmness. Means when you come to your Salah, be calm and stand respectfully before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why standing in your Salah, making your Salah while standing is obligatory. Especially when you come to make takbiratul ihram. Some people come walking into the mosque. And when it's time for prayer, they sit down and make the prayer on the chair. Maybe they have some excuses, Allah knows better. However, since they came walking, it means they can stand. So they should have made the takbiratul ihram while standing. Even if they cannot make ruku and sujood, they have to sit for it on the chair. It's fine, let them use the chair. But since you came walking, that means you can stand and make the takbiratul ihram at least. So they should have made takbiratul ihram while standing, and then they should sit and continue their Salah. Maybe because they cannot sit for a long time, they cannot make ruku and sujood, they can sit. But at least takbiratul ihram, make it while standing. This is if he didn't come on a wheelchair. Somebody who's coming from the beginning on a wheelchair, you don't make him stand. Just let him sit and continue his Salah on his chair, and that's fine, inshallah. So standing is the first fard. The second fard is takbiratul ihram. Takbiratul ihram is to say Allahu Akbar. To say your takbir, the first takbir is takbiratul ihram. The Prophet, peace be upon him, says miftahu hat takbir. And the key to your Salah is your takbir. If you didn't say takbiratul ihram, the first takbir, your Salah didn't start actually. And that's why all the 4 Imams, in fact all the 5 Imams, Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq, all these 5 Imams, they believe that takbiratul ihram is obligatory. Your Salah is invalid if you miss takbiratul ihram. Imam Abu Hanifa gives one ease for those who cannot speak Arabic. He says that if a person cannot speak Arabic and he said takbiratul ihram in his own language, it's accepted. Until he learns Arabic and he knows how to say Allahu Akbar. So he says that if a Persian man comes and says Allah Buzurg, so a Persian man says that means Allah is greatest. His takbir is accepted because he cannot say. Why Imam Abu Hanifa is more concerned about those who cannot say Arabic? Because he himself was an Afghan. He was not an Arab. He knows the problems which those people have. So he thought about them and brought some solutions. And this is one of the reasons why Imam Abu Hanifa's fiqh is always different. His opinions, his interpretations are always different from those Imams who were raised amongst the Arabs. Imam Malik was an Arab. Imam Shafi was Muttalibi Hashim from Ahlul Bayt. Imam Ahmad was from Bani Asad, he was an Arab. But this Imam Abu Hanifa was not an Arab.
What about Hanbal?
Imam Ahmad was from Iraq, Baghdad. He was an Arab from Bani Asad. Ahmad bin Hanbal bin Asadi, Shaybani, Bani Shaybani. So another, or the fourth, or the third obligatory action which we have in Salah is recitation of Fatiha. To recite Surah Al-Fatiha is obligatory. If you miss Surah Al-Fatiha, you missed a fard. Now the confusion which comes about Surah Al-Fatiha is, what about a person who's praying behind the Imam? Should he say Fatiha or should not say Fatiha? What should he do? This is a big confusion which people have, especially those who come from Shafi culture or Shafi background. Because Imam Shafi strongly believes that every person who's making Salah should say Fatiha. Whether he is Imam, whether he is Ma'moom, whether he is Munfarid, whether he is male or female, or young, or adult, or Musafir, no matter whatever he is performed, whether he is performing Fard, or Sunnah, or Witr, in all cases he have to say Surah Al-Fatiha. Other Imams are not this strict as Imam Shafi'i is. Other Imams, they say that the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "Man kana lahu imamun, فَقِرَاءَتُهُ لَهُ قِرَاءَةٌ." Abu Dawood narrated this hadith, that he who is having an Imam, thus the recitation of his Imam will count as a recitation for himself. So your Imam's recitation is not only for your Imam, it's for him and for you. That's why the other Imams, especially Imam Malik and Imam Ahmad, they say it's better for a person that if the Imam is reciting, you just listen. What is the purpose of recitation if nobody is listening? Everybody is reciting his own Quran. The Imam is reciting his own Quran. The person at the back, the Ma'moom, is reciting his own Quran. And what's the fourth one is bowing, making ruku'. Making ruku' is also fard because it's mentioned in the Quran. Any part of Salah which is mentioned in the Quran is fard. It's obligatory. Ruku', sujood, qiyam, fatiha, all these things are mentioned in the Quran. That's why these parts are called as fara'id al-Salah. Why is ruku' mentioned? Ruku' is mentioned in Surah Al-Hajj, verse number 77. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu irka'u." O you who believe, perform your ruku'. Wasjudu, and perform your sujood. So Allah is mentioning these two parts of Salah. That's why these two parts of Salah are obligatory. Another obligatory action is to raise yourself from ruku'. To raise yourself from ruku' is obligatory. Some people do it, they perform ruku', and from ruku' they immediately go for sujood. This is wrong. They didn't raise themselves from ruku'. They have to raise themselves from ruku'. Raise yourself from ruku' and then go for the other part of your salah. To stand for a while after performing your ruku'. You make your ruku', and after performing your ruku', you stand for a while. And you say some dua, سَمِعَ اللَّهُ لِمَنْ حَمِدَهُ رَبَّنَا وَلَكَ الْحَمْدُ حَمْدًا كَثِيرًا طَيِّبًا مُبَارَكًا until the end of that thing. This standing is fard. Standing after ruku' is fard. You stand for a while and then you go for the other parts of the salah. There was a man whose salah is called Musi'us Salah, who was hastening in his prayer, who performed his prayer thrice in front of the Prophet, peace be upon him, and each time the Prophet, peace be upon him, would say to him, "Go and repeat your salah. Your salah is not accepted." And what was this man doing? When he performs ruku', he won't stay calmly for a while. He will immediately go for sujood. If he performs sujood, he won't sit down between the two sujoods for a period of time. He will immediately go for the second sujood. So he was making his salah very fast, without calmness. So the Prophet, peace be upon him, taught him the salah properly, where he taught him that after ruku' you have to stand for a while, be calm, then go for sujood, be calm in your sujood, then raise from your sujood, then sit for a while with calmness, and then go for the second sujood, and then perform your salah, your entire salah in calmness. Because of this hadith, the scholars of fiqh, they consider these parts of salah as integral parts, as parts which are considered to be fard in your salah. Again, after this we have the seventh fard, which is sujood. Sujood is also considered to be one of the fara'id of salah. We said, if you miss the fara'id, whether purposely or forgetfully, your salah is invalid. You have to do them. You cannot miss them. Wajibat, sunan, if you miss them forgetfully, there might be an expiation, or you may only lose your rewards. But here in the case of fara'id, no expiations. You miss them, your salah is invalid. You have to make them. Another fard is to raise from the sujood. You make sujood, you have to raise from the sujood and sit for a while, that's also a fard. Calmness in salah is one of the fara'id. The 11th fard is to perform your tashahhud. The final tashahhud is from the fara'id. To sit down to perform your tashahhud is also a fard. To say your salam is also a fard. Now the scholars differ about the issue of salam. We have again 3 opinions in the matter of salam. Both the salam is necessary, essential, or one salam is essential. 2 opinions are there in this regard. And another thing is that how much of your salam is essential? To say assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah or just to say assalamu alaikum? What is essential? So we have 3 opinions in this regard. The first opinion is the opinion of Imam Ahmad, which is the safest opinion, is that it is essential for a person to say salam on both the sides. Don't make salam on one side and just leave it. This is the first opinion. Because the general practice of the Prophet, peace be upon him, was to say salam on both the sides. Another opinion, which is the opinion of Imam Malik and Imam Shafi'i and Imam Abu Hanifa, is that to say one salam is essential. The other salam is recommended. So according to these great imams, if you said assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah on one side, you are done with the essential part. What's remaining is recommended. And that's why you will find in many countries, many cultures, Muslims, they pray and they make one salam. If you go to Morocco, in some Moroccan mosques, you will find that they make salam in this way. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Actually making one salam. They are making 2 salam. But if you are not focusing, you may feel that they made both the salams. But in reality, they made one salam. They are, in some countries, you may find people saying, just sitting like this and saying, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, without shifting left and right. This is one of the opinions of Imam Shafi'i, that if you are performing one salam, just say it towards your face, do not turn. When you want to say 2 salams, you can turn left and right. So many opinions are there in this regard. However, you can say the safest or the common practice of the Prophet, peace be upon him, was to say salam on both the sides.